Mind you, I voted Democrat for 16 years straight since Barack Obama's first presidency, but I knew how this was gonna go. And she ain't just lose, she got her ass whooped. I'm talking about when I went and looked at the states, how the states were voting that were remaining, he was gonna get over 300 electors. Like, she was getting her ass whooped. It wasn't even a close race. And as much as y'all talk shit about Donald Trump, we talking about a marketing genius. Like, if you watch documentaries about this guy or research him, the way he came up, the guy's a marketing genius. Like, from putting his last name on everything to marketing himself as a billionaire even before he was a billionaire. Dude been on a political campaign literally, it seemed like, for 40, 50 years. Your party was unprepared, does not understand what the average American's issues are and concerns are, and didn't have a candidate that stood a chance in hell. So it is what it is. And don't try to say it was a specific group that voted for him. No. Every group voted for him because the way the numbers turned out, there's no way he swept like that without the support of everyone, every demographic.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Welcome to Male Reality Lessons, where topics are reviewed and discussed as iron sharpens iron. On Male Reality Lessons today, we're going to talk about the election aftermath. Now, I am not insensitive to think that no one's not going to feel some kind of way if their particular candidate doesn't win. But I have a problem with the level of vitriol and hatred towards a gender, specifically men, and especially towards black men. It is literally out of control and blasted all over the internet. You don't have to believe me. Here's just one small example.
Some violations, and I may offend some people with what I'm gonna say, and I don't give a To all you Latinos that voted for Trump, I hope he mass deports you and your entire family. Whether you were here legally or not, you gotta go. I hope he does that. To you black men who your fragile ego couldn't take a black woman in office, so you either voted for Trump or you didn't vote at all. The police will now have carte blanche to murder you right where you stand.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
And when they do that, there's not gonna be no GoFundMes. Don't ask your family to ask us for shit. Just die. They can't afford to bury you. Dig a hole in their backyard. It is what it is.
Wow.
But don't expect sympathy. Don't expect protest in the streets. We're not doing that. Black women, we're done with. We're done. We did our due diligence for this century and the next. We've done enough. We're not doing anymore.
Now, I'm not going to attack this woman, but it's clear that she has some other issues going on for her to be this mad over an election and spew that much venom. Yet, let's take a closer look based on some evaluations from the media on what's happening internally with the Democratic Party pointing fingers.
Somebody grab a mop. Tears are flooding the swamp.
I'm sure I'll come up with something to make me feel good again. But right now, today, it's hard. I'll be honest with you. And the hardest thing is that I look across this country and tens of millions of people fell for this. And it's depressing. I'll snap out of it, but I'm in a very, very dark tunnel right now.
It's not just Carville. The men of the party, Doug and Timmy, were a little choked up yesterday when Kamala conceded.
That's a damn shame.
And Nancy Pelosi, after getting scolded by Donna Brazile, left the party pouting. Little remorse over the Kunets. You lost an election and a friend. But that friend is the only Democrat smiling. His name's Joe Biden. Look at the grin. He's the happiest he's looked in years. Is that the guy whose VP just lost to Hitler? Or is that the guy who's saying, I told you so?
I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting.
I hear you and I see you. But don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic presidency. Not because I'm president, because what we've done, what you've done. A presidency for all Americans.
Biden's reminding Democrats what they could have had. It's like when your girlfriend breaks up with you for another guy and then the other guy dumps her. See, babe, you didn't know how good you had it.
If you're enjoying the video, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Male Reality Lessons.
Remember, Biden knew she couldn't win. When Democrats were trying to wax him, he was handing them polls like, guys, she's going to get crushed. Look. But they didn't listen. So on the way out the door, he endorsed her. So they had to fall in line. She was a woman of color. What were the Democrats supposed to do? He endorsed a hand grenade, pulled the pin, watch it blow up in November. Biden still thinks he could have won.
Does President Biden believe he could have won if he stayed in this race?
President Biden believes that he made the right decision when he decided to step aside.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
And immediately endorsed the vice president.
Binder knows what Biden did here. Oh, you don't want me? You can have her. Don't say I didn't warn you. Axios says Democrats have started clawing each other's eyes out. One Democrat's fuming that no one stopped Biden sooner, telling NBC, how the hell did we not deal with this problem? He's 80 years old. He was supposed to be a one-termer. The man could barely speak and actually be coherent. It was too late. And we knew we had a Biden problem this time last year. The party knew it, and people truly were not honest. Bloomberg says it probably wasn't great to cover up President Joe Biden's infirmities until they became undeniable on live TV. Democrats are also raging at Biden's arrogance, leaking all over the place. He shouldn't have run. This is no time to pull punches or be concerned about anybody's feelings. He and his staff have done an enormous amount of damage to this country, one Democrat said. And he's a good man who can be proud of his accomplishments, but his legacy is in tatters.
If he had dropped out earlier, there would have been a messy primary. I think you can look at the Harris folks who say that she didn't have enough time to run, but there are others who say this was actually the best scenario for her.
I was going to say, I think a lot of people probably thought she would have lost a primary.
Well, not just that, but like even if it had been 2 months earlier, like more time would not necessarily have benefited Kamala Harris. And this is, look, Joe Biden's legacy is going to be defined by the fact that Donald Trump won.
The New York Times says Biden's legacy will forever be defined as a one-term president who set his party on a path to failure. Ouch. Guess we're going to have to start carving his name into Mount Rushmore. We hear Obama's already calling off construction at the Biden Presidential Library. They think this is all on Joe, not them.
Forget about Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and the others. They need to face the reality of that. And perhaps the real point was maybe Joe Biden should have decided very early that one term was enough and give the party a chance to have a primary election, and maybe the outcome could have been different.
Right.
It's not just Obama. It's Kamala, too. People close to Harris think Joe Biden's the singular reason Kamala Harris and Democrats lost. Biden's loyalists were irate after hearing that, clapping back, saying they'd love to have whatever they're drinking. Biden world pointing their fingers at Kamala and Barack. There's no singular reason why we lost, but a big reason is because the Obama advisors publicly encouraged Democratic infighting to push Joe Biden out. Didn't even want Kamala Harris as the nominee, and then signed up as the saviors of the campaign, only to run outdated Obama-era playbooks for a candidate that wasn't Obama. And some Democrats actually agree. They're blaming the loss squarely on Obama's people, saying they're stuck in 2009. One Democrat says, the team that's there, it's time for them to retire. We need a whole different strategy. The day of Obama and his geniuses are over. They've been left behind. They're out of touch with the American people. The Democratic Party is out of touch. Obama's campaign manager, David Plouffe, who took the reins of the Harris campaign, has already gone into hiding. He deleted his Twitter account today. And Democrats, even have their knives out for George Clooney, who pulled the trigger in the New York Times. One saying, "Someone bring me George Clooney. We need to have a talk."
You can't make this shit up, people.
People are blaming Biden. Other people are blaming Barack. Some people are blaming Harris. This is the top Democrat in Philly saying the campaign was just sloppy.
The national campaign, nothing, zero. They had no respect. They had no coordination. They didn't talk. I never even had a conversation with the lady. First time ever. They didn't even do the right thing as far as giving us the resources that we need, and they want to blame us. And now I understand someone ever came was blaming Joe Biden. Can you imagine blaming Joe Biden for her loss? She lost. He didn't lose.
The Harris team's firing back. If there's any immediate takeaway from Philadelphia's turnout this cycle, it's that Chairman Brady's decades-long practice of fleecing campaigns for money to make up for his own lack of fundraising ability or leadership is a worthless endeavor that no future campaign should ever be forced to entertain again. Kamala is accusing the Philly Democratic Party boss of stealing her money. And this is just breaking. Even though she raised $1 billion, she ended the campaign $20 million in debt. Maybe they did fleece her, but insiders say Kamala's campaign chief spent the cash on concerts with celebrities. Beyonce's appearance fee has to be huge. Think about it. It's not just the campaigns fighting with each other. The left is on the warpath against the far left. Bernie Sanders is saying it should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. Not so fast, Bernie.
I have a concern that the far left is pressuring the party to take policy positions that are deeply unpopular among most Americans. If you're speaking to working class people of color, then you would realize that there was never a mass constituency for a movement like defund the police. And so we should be taking positions that are in line with the majority of Americans.
And they're all screaming at each other.
The next time that some son of a on MSNBC or the Democratic Party tells you, oh no, be a good boy and girl, be civil, and vote for Democratic leaders, they know what they're doing. Those are the same god liars that told you that Joe Biden was totally fine. If you're on the left, you're a Democratic voter. Wakey, wakey. I need to wake you up out of the hypnosis that you're in. They're lying to you. Why do you think they keep losing? Do you think they keep telling you how smart they are and how they're going to deliver you victories? And all they ever do is deliver loss after loss after loss. So Democratic voters, snap out of it.
Well, that speaks volumes. Yet I offer this up from a sister who was a former Democrat, and perhaps you can get back on track if you heed her advice.
She lost. The Democratic Party literally had the worst marketing strategy in history. Like, I saw this loss coming like a mile away. He's racist, he's racist, he's racist. Your candidate is a woman. This country's far more sexist than racist, far more. So there's that group of people that are just automatically gonna vote the other way. Then you lost the plot completely with black people. I haven't seen pandering this tacky since Hillary Clinton pulled that hot sauce out of her bag. You had Joe Biden on his first campaign talking about if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Who the fuck? Kamala done turned her freaking rallies into the BET Awards. You got Meg Thee Stallion twerking on stage, Glorilla on stage bleeping out every other word of her song because she can't even rap her actual lyrics. Then completely lost the plot with women. You got penises swinging around kids' locker rooms and women's locker rooms. People who identified as a man yesterday and identify as a woman today are whooping women's asses in sports. Women having to encounter penises and testosterone in situations that were once sacred to them. Add that to the fact that y'all originally showed up with the same candidate who we watched falling all over himself in the street, slurring his words and losing his train of thought mid-fucking press conference. And y'all still picked him, although y'all had Kamala as vice president at the time, which means even y'all knew she wasn't going this. But y'all threw her in the game fourth quarter anyway. Then you got the everyday Democrat thinking they could bully people into voting their way, which is actually turning people off and running people out of the party. Mind you, election happened while everybody's hungry and broke. Rent was just due. Mortgages was just due. It's after the first, and we've been under this leadership for 4 years, so it feels like this because of them. then the Republicans keep stopping us. We can't get anything done because Republicans keep stopping us. So what's the point of voting for you if you can't get nothing done? Y'all gave Donald Trump a freaking Supreme Court seat when y'all let Ruth Bader Ginsburg die at damn near 100 years old in the freaking Supreme Court. It's very, very clear the Democratic Party has just been raw dogging it through life for a minute. Mind you, I voted Democrat for 16 years straight since Barack Obama's first presidency, but I knew how this was gonna go. And she ain't just lose, she got her ass whooped. I'm talking about when I went and looked at the states, how the states were voting that were remaining, he was gonna get over 300 electors. Like, she was getting her ass whooped. It wasn't even a close race. And as much as y'all talk shit about Donald Trump, we talking about a marketing genius. Like, if you watch documentaries about this guy or research him, the way he came up, the guy's a marketing genius. Like, from putting his last name on everything to marketing himself as a billionaire even before he was a billionaire. Dude been on a political campaign literally, it seemed like, for 40, 50 years. Your party was unprepared, does not understand what the average American's issues are and concerns are, and didn't have a candidate that stood a chance in hell. So it is what it is. And don't try to say it was a specific group that voted for him. No. Every group voted for him because the way the numbers turned out, there's no way he swept like that without the support of everyone. Every demographic. Y'all went too far left. Too far. Pump your brakes.
Yet, I want to hear from you. In the comments section, give me your thoughts and opinions on this topic as well as any other topic here on Male Reality Lessons. As always, I want to thank you for watching. Smash that like button and have a good day.